What's up, scholars? Welcome back to another video. Today we are doing something special. So about a month, maybe 2 months ago, back in August, yeah, so it has been 2 months now, I sent out a question on my community tab asking y'all for your recommendations on any sort of like spooky type of story. It could have been anime, manga, books, shows, games, whatever y'all enjoyed of the spooky genre. And now that it is October, I am going to be sitting here, I am going to read your recommendations and kind of get those out into the world so that your favorites can be highlighted even more. I've looked at some of them. Some have caught my attention, others I'm a little on the nervous side with, because to be completely fair, I'm not a huge horror manga reader or horror story reader. I have my favorites. I have a few that I can read and I quite enjoy, but I am a scaredy cat, so I have to be careful. I'm better reading than I am watching things, but I'm very picky with the kind of horror or thriller that I read or watch or consume. But I've taken a glimpse at a lot of the suggestions that y'all have mentioned. So I'm going to talk about y'all's suggestions here if I think I'm going to like them. And honestly, just to talk about your suggestions, to get them out there so that more people can read the stories that y'all enjoy. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're here for, is to just share and enjoy the stories we love. So the first one is Desmond's the Dwarf. You recommended the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which is a musical movie. The story-driven video game Undertale, for about 4 hours to play through it. I've heard of Undertale. I've only heard good things about Undertale. You'll have to answer this for me. Does Undertale have a lot of jump scares in it? If yes, I may not be able to play it, but if not, we'll see. Let me know down in the comments. See, both of those I'm consuming each year around Halloween, and it became my fave thing around Halloween. Don't blame me one bit. Other horror things to check out: Five Nights at Freddy's. I do know Five Nights at Freddy's. There are certain scenes in Five Nights at Freddy's that still creep me out that I've seen. Fear Street on Netflix. Emily Rudd plays in it, who played Nami in the One Piece live action. And then Haunting of Manor. I think it's Haunting of Hill House Manor on Netflix. I've seen the name. I think there's a book after it. I might be thinking of the wrong one. But I will definitely be checking those movies out. If I get too scared, I might just chicken out. I might chicken out of it. But thank you for your suggestions. I have seen Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I've seen clips of Five Nights at Freddy's and some of the adaptation of it. It's a little spooky. It's just some of like the robotic figurines and everything, how they move, how everything's in a dark setting. Creeps me out. I know it's supposed to. And some of the songs they have for those are really good. I enjoy a lot of the music that they have associated with Five Nights at Freddy's. So I might check out that game. I might check out Undertale depending on how scary it is. Y'all will have to let me know down below if y'all want me to play Undertale or not. The other two are on Netflix, so they're really easy to access. So if y'all want to check those out, just hop on Netflix and go watch Fear Street or The Haunting of, I'm guessing, Hill House Manor. That's on Netflix. So Desnes, thank you for your recommendations. They are wonderful, and I know a lot of people will agree with you on your choices, and hopefully somebody learned something new today. The next one is from Tori. You commented Toilet Bound Hanakoon. I think I said that right. I got tongue-tied. Great anime and fantastic manga. One of the few animes that I actually really love, the English dub. Possibly getting a reboot soon. I'm not caught up on the manga, but it's a great series. I have seen clips of Toilet Bound Hanako before, and from what I've seen, it's been like, it seems really interesting, and I've watched the pilot episode, and I think I'm really intrigued by it. It's not too spooky where I'm afraid and not able to watch, so that's definitely one I'm going to be checking out this October, is Toilet Bound Hanakoon, and I'll keep y'all updated on how I like it. I'll kind of make like probably a thread in the comments of what I ended up watching, what I ended up reading, and kind of what I thought of them. And then at the end of October, when I do my special Halloween Rex, I'll talk about them more there too. I don't see a lot of people talking about this manga as much. I've seen it kind of in circulation every now and again, but not a lot of people watch or that I know have watched it or read it. So it's going to be really cool for me to watch it and read it and kind of just experience it on my own. I'm really excited for this one. From what I've seen and what I've looked at so far with Toilet Bound Hanakoon, I think I'm going to really enjoy this one. So Tori, thank you for your suggestion. The next one is from Takorific. You said Claymore is a manga about monster hunting that's pretty good. I agree. I first tried to attempt Claymore when I was younger and it scared me. I could not. It scared me and I didn't understand it because I was so young, so I wasn't quite invested in it. But yes, I agree. Claymore is a fantastic manga and it's so cool, but it can be very gory for those who don't know about it. But the characters are cool. The plot is really interesting, and just kind of the landscapes that you're in and the things that you see. It's definitely a good one. When it says monster hunting, you were definitely doing monster hunting. It is super, super cool, and definitely one that I think a lot of people need to try out a lot more because I don't hear almost anybody talking about Claymore. So, Takorific, thank you so much for that suggestion. Yes, more people need to watch or read Claymore. It is amazing. The next one is from Matt. You said, have you read Frankie Fran before? It's a body horror manga that I think would be a good read. It's disturbing, but in a lighthearted way. So I looked into Frankie Fran, and you're right. There are some panels that look very lighthearted, like the main character herself. She seems kind of dollish, very cute, and everything, like a Frankenstein type monster, though. But some of these panels are ridiculous. Like, I'm gonna put a few up here. I was not expecting to see some of these panels when I was looking at Frank and Fran and everything. Oh my goodness. When you say body horror, you definitely meant body horror, because it's just like, it's unnerving. It's not like too horrific to where it's like you can't even like look at it, but some of those pictures are just like horrifying in an unnerving way, and you're just like, I could have lived my whole life without seeing that. The caterpillar one was freaky. That weird panel where she's just smiling, like, some of those looked really freaky, but then you had some panels that looked like really lighthearted and kind of fun and funny. So I think that would be one that I could do, but just like very slowly. Like, I would have to read that slowly, like in portion. But I had never heard of Frankie Fran before, and I definitely think more people should, because the art style is gorgeous. Like, there is so much detail in those panels and everything that the mangaka has done. So much detail. I definitely think more people need to check that out. So thank you for your suggestion, Matt. I will potentially be reading Frankie Fran. The next one is from Roxanne. You left a couple of suggestions. You said that Soul Eater gives very Halloween vibes, but I don't know if you've already watched or read it, and it does have a good bit of fan service in it. Yes, it does. I watched Soul Eater when I was younger. That was one of the, maybe not one of the first anime that I've read or that I've watched, but it was like still towards like the beginning of me getting into anime when I was younger. I enjoyed Soul Eater. It was funny, it was creepy. There was characters that I really liked. There was characters that I couldn't stand because they just creeped me out. And yes, there is some fan service in there, but it wasn't like overwhelming to the point where I couldn't read it. I've never read the manga of Soul Eater before. I know the anime kind of ended with its own thing, like with its own ending. So I know the anime is completely different from the manga because it took a lot of liberties. So I do want to read the manga, and I always forget about Soul Eater because it's just been such a long time since I've watched it. But I love Maka and Soul. They are just two really brilliant characters. I love Kid. Kid was a fantastic one too. I mean, they're all great, but Kid was definitely one of my favorites. Um, yes, I definitely need to revisit Soul Eater. It's been way too long. And I think this would be a great time to do it. And you did say you had another series that you wanted to recommend, but saying what it was would be like a spoiler, so I get it. But if you want to leave it down below, that would be cool too. We could all get a little spoiled to get into a new series. But Roxanne, thank you for your recommendations. I do think more people need to give Soul Eater the credit it deserves. The next comment is from Stylehein, and you said the Ghost Stories dub, which was the official release and has to be watched to be believed. You were absolutely right on that. The dub for Ghost Stories is absolutely wild. There's no other way to describe it. It is wild. Absolutely unhinged. I don't know what any of them were thinking when they were doing it. They took all the liberties that they possibly could making that dub. It is an experience. Something I don't think I need to experience more than once in my life, and I've already experienced it. But for those who haven't, have fun. So thank you for that suggestion. For all those who haven't watched Ghost Stories dubbed and is about to, brace yourself. Now, the next one is from Donner. You said that Uzumaki or Genji Ito thing. So I've heard of Genji Ito. I haven't actually gotten around to reading any of their works, but I've really wanted to, and I've seen Uzumaki. I've seen some of the panels from Uzumaki. I've seen a lot of people review it and just admire it, that it's really good. Like, the panels look really fantastic, and all the detail with them. The storyline behind it seems really creepy, but just maybe just enough that I can handle it. I can handle it. So I would love to check out Uzumaki or any of the other Genji Ito things. Thank you for that suggestion. I've seen how widely revered Genji Ito is with all of the works, and I definitely want to read some. So thank you for the suggestion. After reading the summary about Uzumaki, about how the town is haunted by like these spirals, it's got me interested enough to want to read it, even though I have seen some of these panels, and these panels are just absolutely wild. But I'm intrigued in a very, like, I know I'm gonna get scared and regret this, but I'm gonna read it anyway kind of way. But yes, thank you for your suggestion of Uzumaki. So the next few suggestions are all from the same person, Jay Lassie. I got so many recommendations from you, and I love it. Thank you so much for giving me all of these different recommendations. The first one that you recommended is Chi no Wadachi, or A Trail of Blood, by Oshimi Shuzo. He has a unique way of telling human psychological and trauma, and his drawing is terrifying sometimes. So I've read the entirety of chapter 1 of A Trail of Blood, and already just from the first chapter, there's just something so like off-putting about the character interactions. And it's not just like the way it's drawn, it's just Shuzo built this type of tension inside the first chapter, and I already can understand what you're meaning of, like, he does a really good job with like the psychological aspect. You can really get that even from the first chapter. So I am really interested in the story, and like the main character, his interactions with like the people at school, to like his mom and the dreams he's having about the cat. I'm intrigued, but I know it's going to just be like one of those stories that just like, you may not like have jump scares or anything, but it's just like, it's chilling. I just get this really chilling and off-putting tension just from the first chapter alone. So I'm all for this one. This one is gonna be pretty good, I have a feeling. You also commented that all the Genji Ito stories are good horror stories. So besides Uzumaki, I'm not sure what other ones that Genji Ito has done. I do want to check out more of Genji Ito's books because he seems kind of like one of the better horror manga artists in Japan as of right now. From what I've been told, from what I've seen, he's really regarded very highly in the horror genre. So I definitely want to give a lot of his works a shot, even if it's at risk of scaring myself. Some of your other suggestions was the Hideout manga by Kakizaki Masasumi. I hope I said their name right. I'm just gonna read all of them out and then I'll kind of get into the ones I've looked at so far. You recommended the Manhole manga by Susui Tetsuya, I Am a Hero, Jisa Suto. Webtoon does have some really good horror ones. I'm gonna talk about some of the really good like creepy ones that I found on Webtoon that I can actually like enjoy reading. I will be talking about that later on at the end of the month. So yes, Webtoon does have some really good like creepy ones. Now for the Hideout manga that you recommended, oh my goodness, the art style is incredible for this manga. It has a lot of realistic tones to it and some of the landscapes, especially some of the colored pages that are there, but also just so like again this first chapter is just so like you already know what you're getting into and just like the first few panels. And I will say I'm not sure how I would fare with this one. Like just reading in chapter 1 and you get to the eyeballs just sticking out from under the floorboards, that's that made my skin crawl just seeing that. And I don't know any of the context with it, but you see someone tied up and then just being stared at by these eyeballs, and it seems very interesting. It's definitely a horror story that I think would be really, really good. Again, like some of the others that I've mentioned, I would probably have to take this in very small chunks because I do get scared so easy. But it is a very interesting premise. I do love the art style and it looks very intriguing. So thank you for that recommendation. If y'all haven't at least checked out Hideout or looked at like the art style, go take a look at it. The other one that I kind of looked into a little bit was Manhole, about the detectives, on a case. But it's not just a normal like, oh, we're investigating murder. There's so much more involved with it. This definitely has a more like body horror type feel from what I've seen and the panels I've looked at it. It definitely feels more of like a body horror. Not quite the same as Frankie Fran, but in a different way, like taking that body horror in a different way. But this one looks really interesting because it is more of that like kind of thriller, or it seems more of like a thriller type story where it's like you're investigating and trying to find out the cause and you're coming across these like gory scenes as you go, and there's all these different undertones that make it so creepy and so scary and give it that tension and that edge that just kind of chills you as you're reading. So I think I think I would really like this one from what I've seen. So yeah, I think I would be able to read this one maybe a little bit easier than Hideout, just me personally. I know I Am a Hero is a zombie series, so there's the classic gore that you'll kind of get with like a zombie show, but I haven't looked too much into it. I have not read too much on this one, but look, this one looks like it's really, really dark and covers a lot of really dark topics. But I'm not sure if this would be one that I would want to read, but I will put it up here anyway so that those who want to look into it can. But thank you for the suggestions on those. I do have a lot to read. And the last one that you recommended is Fuan no Tane, or I think one of the English names is A Reason for Concern or Seeds of Anxiety, which very fitting. It's just a collection of short stories that I think I would really enjoy because it like deals with like a lot of urban legends or myths and ghosts and everything, and each part has its own little theme. I think I would really enjoy this one. This one is one, since it is shorter and it's a bunch of short stories, I think I would definitely be able to read this one. You said I don't know if you're into the gore kind of manga. I mean, depends on how gory it is, because I don't mind some gore. I mean, I read a lot of books that, you know, mention gore. I watch certain shows that are very bloody and gory, but I also don't just like want that all to be there is. Like, I don't mind if there's some, but there, it just can't be like overbearing and like overwhelming. Like, there's got to be a limit. There's got to be like a break in between. So maybe not too heavy. Just a little bit, not too heavy though. But thank you for all of your suggestions on all of those mangas and everything that you suggested. We've definitely got a lot to read here. So that is all of the recommendations that y'all put on that community post. And we got a lot of stuff that we could potentially read and watch that I think would make a really good content for the month of October, just to take in personally and just read and enjoy on your own, or watch and enjoy on your own. Now, if you haven't read any of the ones that you saw in this video, I would highly encourage you to find one that sounds the most interesting to you or looks the most interesting to you, and try to read a little bit of that or try to watch it. I would highly recommend doing so. I definitely have some. I think Frankie Fran and a couple of others like Manhole and A Trail of Blood. They're definitely on my list of what I'm going to be reading in tidbits, of course. If y'all have played games like Undertale or Five Nights at Freddy's, let me know how y'all enjoyed those games, or let me know of the movies that y'all have seen, like which ones y'all enjoy. If y'all have any other recommendations that didn't make it to the community post, but y'all still have more, leave them down in the comments below. We're all about sharing here, so be sure to put your recommendations. If they didn't get listed in this video, make sure you put them down below, and just be nice to everybody down in the comments. Respect that this is something they like. Just encourage one another and find something new to read, find something new to watch. That's why I wanted to do this video, because there's so many mangas, especially in like the horror or psychological thriller genre, that get overshadowed and kind of brushed under because of some of the few like very popular ones that get kind of pushed into the forefront. I'm not saying those popular ones are bad, they're often very good, but a lot of the others kind of don't get mentioned as much, because there is a lot of manga and movies and stories that I got recommended by y'all that I've never heard before, and I'm really excited to read some of these. I know they're gonna scare me out of my mind, so I'm gonna be giving up my sleep for y'all, just saying. But I'm so happy to know that there's so much out there that I still don't know about, and that we can all just sit here and discover and read and talk about, because that's what the purpose of this channel is, to just sit there and talk about what everybody loves, what everybody enjoys. So my recommendation is to find one of the stories that is listed here and give it a shot. Give it a shot. See if you like it. Pick one that looks interesting to you, that you think you would enjoy, and just give it a go and see how you like it. See how it fares. If it doesn't work, that's okay. If it works, then you find a new favorite. So that works. So that all works out well too. But other than that, thank you all so much for commenting on that community post. I plan on doing more videos like this, where I just take in your recommendations and make a video about what y'all have said, whether I've seen it or not, whether I've read it or not, because I want y'all to be heard, because the only reason I'm doing this is because of y'all. So I want to do more videos where y'all's recommendations are the forefront of the video. I'll probably be doing one around Christmas time, so y'all can go ahead and start thinking about things for that if you want, or if you just want to enjoy Spooky Month, just forego that and just start thinking about it in November, and that'll be fine. But I do enjoy doing videos like this, because it makes me feel like I'm getting to talk to y'all a little bit more, and I really enjoy that. But thank you all so much for commenting y'all's suggestions and y'all's recommendations on that community post. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope y'all have found something new to read during the month of October. I know I have. I know I found a lot of new stuff to read. There's a couple that I've already started that I'm really enjoying. There's a lot of others that I'm really just anxious about, but we're gonna try it anyways. Besides that, thank you all so much for watching this video. Be sure to be on the lookout for my Zoe review for One Piece that is going to be coming out on Thursday. Next week I'm going to be doing a Harry Potter readathon. I'm going to be covering the first 4 books in the series, where it's just going to be a really chill readathon where I share my thoughts book by book and kind of go from there. So be sure to be on the lookout for those videos, and I will see you next time, scholars. Bye!